From million-dollar watches to some of the funkiest footwear that you could ever imagine, NFL players have often pushed the boundaries of fashion on the field, resulting in some outrageous fashion statements. In this article, we will explore a variety of accessories that have been banned in the NFL due to uniform policy violations, player fines, and sometimes just sheer audacity. Trust me, you don't want to miss the last one, as it will blow your mind. One of the most notable banned accessories in the NFL are Yeezy cleats. Yeezy is a brand that falls under the Adidas label, but is owned and designed by rapper Kanye West. In 2016, Von Miller of the Denver Broncos and DeAndre Hopkins of the Houston Texans both wore Yeezy cleats during pre-game warm-ups and actual games. While Miller escaped fines for wearing the cleats during warm-ups, Hopkins received a hefty fine of $6,000 from the league for donning them in a game against the Chicago Bears. The reason for the fine was simple. Yeezy cleats did not comply with the NFL's uniform policy, which mandates that players wear footwear with a solid base color. The Yeezy cleats, known for their unique and unconventional designs, failed to meet this basic requirement. DeAndre Hopkins, undeterred by the fine, announced that he would continue to wear the Yeezy cleats only if Kanye West, the designer himself, would foot the bill. However, Kanye did not agree to these terms, as he had other creative endeavors on his plate, including redesigning the concept of time and collaborating with aliens on intergalactic fashion trends in the outer realms of the universe. In Kanye's world, creativity knows no bounds. While Yeezy cleats made headlines, they are far from the only footwear banned by the NFL's strict uniform policy. The league has stringent rules regarding shoe colors, insisting that they must match a player's team uniform. In the past, players have been penalized for wearing cleats that did not comply with this policy. For instance, Chad Ochocinco, known for his colorful personality, was fined $20,000 for wearing golden cleats that did not match his team's colors. Bernard Berrien, a former wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, was fined $5,000 for wearing yellow cleats. Odell Beckham Jr. has also faced consequences for wearing customized cleats that violated the uniform policy. On one occasion, he sported cleats inspired by the Joker, but was instructed to change them during halftime to be allowed back into the game, leaving Odo looking more like the punchliner than the Joker. But cleats are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the NFL's strict uniform regulations. The league has rules regarding the length of players' pants. Players cannot wear pants that don't cover the knee area, a rule that Odell Beckham Jr. and Jerry Hughes found themselves in violation of during a game. Beckham was fined a significant amount of $14,037 for his short pants, while Hughes received a lesser penalty of $5,305 for the same offense. Socks, often considered a minor component of an NFL player's uniform, actually play a significant role in the league's strict dress code regulations. The NFL has a comprehensive set of rules and guidelines governing what players can and cannot wear on the field, and socks are no exception. These seemingly mundane garments are subject to specific height requirements, typically stipulating that they must be worn pulled up to a certain level, which is generally up to the knees. One notable case that highlights the seriousness of these sock regulations involved the veteran running back Frank Gore during his tenure with the San Francisco 49ers. In a game, Gore chose to wear socks that were deemed to be too low, failing to meet the league's stringent standards for uniform appearance. As a result, he was slapped with a hefty fine amounting to a staggering $10,500. This incident serves as a stark reminder that even experienced players are not exempt from adhering to the NFL's uniform guidelines. The issue of sock height continued to make headlines in the NFL, even in more recent times. In 2020, Juju Smith-Schuster, a talented wide receiver who was then playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, found himself in a similar predicament. During a game, Smith-Schuster's socks did not reach the prescribed knee-high level, and as a result, he faced disciplinary action from the league. A fine of $5,000 was imposed on him, underscoring the NFL's unwavering commitment to maintaining uniformity and professionalism on the field. Smith-Schuster was not the sole Steelers player caught in this wardrobe conundrum during that season. His teammate, James Conner, also received a $5,000 fine for failing to comply with the league's stringent rules regarding sock height. These incidents collectively underscore the league's determination to uphold a consistent and cohesive visual identity, even if it means penalizing players for the slightest deviation from the uniform standards. The NFL is well known for its rigorous safety standards and regulations that extend even to the equipment players use during games. One such aspect of player safety concerns the height of helmet visors, and the league has taken steps to ensure the protection and welfare of its athletes. In addition, the NFL has also instituted measures to preserve the structural integrity of helmets and mitigate neck fatigue among its players. The height of helmet visors is carefully regulated by the NFL to provide a standardized level of protection. These visors serve as a vital shield against various environmental elements, such as rain, snow, and debris that players may encounter while on the field. By stipulating specific requirements for visor height, the league aims to ensure that players have a consistent and reliable level of protection throughout their games. This not only safeguards their eyes and faces, but also contributes to their overall safety and performance. Furthermore, the NFL has imposed restrictions on non-standard or overbuilt face masks. Face masks play a crucial role in player protection by guarding against facial injuries during tackles and collisions. However, overly elaborate or non-standard face masks can potentially compromise the structural integrity of the helmet, making it less effective in absorbing impacts. Therefore, the league has established rules that govern the design and construction of face masks to strike a balance between player safety and equipment functionality. Despite these stringent regulations, the NFL also recognizes that there may be exceptions and special circumstances. Players who believe they have a legitimate medical need for non-standard equipment can request medical exemptions. This process ensures that the league remains flexible in addressing unique player requirements. An illustrative example of this exemption process is the case of Khalil Mack, whose request to use an overbuilt face mask similar to the one he wore during his college career was denied. On the other hand, Justin Tuck was granted a medical exemption that allowed him to continue using his specific face mask design, which was deemed necessary for his well-being. The NFL's attention to detail extends to the players' jerseys, which must be tucked in during games to maintain a neat and uniform appearance. Failing to comply with this rule can result in penalties or fines imposed by the league. Players are expected to adhere to these uniform guidelines to uphold the professional image of the NFL and promote a cohesive look among teams. Another quirky rule concerns tear-away jerseys. While players once attempted to wear tear-away jerseys to make tackles more difficult, the NFL quickly outlawed them to avoid chaotic scenes on the field, where players could shed their jerseys like confetti. The league prefers players to rely on their athletic abilities, not wardrobe choices, to make plays. In terms of headgear, the NFL bans headbands, bandanas, and do-rags on the field. The reasoning behind this ban is not entirely clear, but it likely relates to concerns about potential distractions or uniformity issues. The NFL's strict regulations also extend to jewelry. While players can wear jewelry on the field, there are limits to ensure safety. Watches, rings, or other jewelry with sharp edges are prohibited due to the risk of injury during tackles or contact plays. Notably, Odell Beckham Jr. flaunted his extravagant watch collection on and off the field, including a Richard Mille timepiece worth a whopping $2 million. The NFL had a conversation with Beckham about refraining from displaying such a luxurious accessory during games to comply with the no hard objects rule. In addition to jewelry, the NFL has rules to prevent confusion on the field. Players cannot wear headgear or equipment that closely matches the color of the football. This rule is essential to maintain clarity during gameplay and prevent unnecessary chaos. In conclusion, the NFL's strict uniform policy extends beyond just jerseys and helmets. It encompasses footwear, socks, accessories, and even the color of headgear to ensure a cohesive and professional appearance on the field. While players occasionally push the boundaries of these regulations, the league remains committed to maintaining safety, consistency, and fairness in the game. Despite the fines and penalties, these rules add an interesting layer of uniformity and order to the world of professional football, reminding us that the NFL is not just a game, but a meticulously managed and regulated spectacle.